So our next speaker is Joel Harper. Joel is the Chapel Hill Center Director for the North Carolina Small Business and Technology Development Center, SBTDC, which provides no-cost, confidential business counseling to companies in Alamance, Chatham, Durham, Lee, Orange, and Person counties. And prior to the SBTDC, Joel helped businesses grow and prosper through his work with a number of chambers of commerce in this area. In his free time, he enjoys backyard gardening and Dutch oven cooking, and he's an all-around nice guy. Joel Harper.
I do not have a PowerPoint. My agent asked that the camera stay right here on me. He says this is my best side. SBTDC, world's worst acronym. Nobody knows what it stands for. You can't remember the letters, the order they should go in. It doesn't roll off the tongue. So I say we are the Small Business Technology and Development Center. And you still give me a blank stare. We have no idea what that means. Your name has no indication of what you do. Most small business owners, and how many small business owners do we have in the room? A few? All right. Most small business owners' interaction with the Small Business Administration, the SBA, probably comes through getting a loan, an SBA loan. Fun fact, the SBA does not make small business loans. The SBA, for decades, has underwritten small business loans. For example, you need $100,000, so you walk down to your friendly lender who says, I'll need 20% skin in the game from you. We'll loan you the other 80%. So the bank, the lender, will run you through the ringer, appropriately so, to make sure you are good to repay $80,000, because you're going to, ante up $20,000 of your own for the $100,000 loan. Okay. Enter the Small Business Administration. They will underwrite or guarantee up to 70% of your loan value. So if you go the SBA route, you still have your 20% skin in the game, but the SBA says to the lender, if you pass muster, we'll guarantee that loan up to 70%. So the bank says, I got the $20,000 from the borrower. The SBA is good for 70% or $70,000. We, the lender, are only on the hook for $10,000. We're much more likely to lend $10,000 to somebody than we are to lend $80,000 to somebody. Or if it's $1 million loan, you see how it plays out. We're much more likely to lend $100,000 than $800,000. So lots of business owners like to go through the SBA route because it makes them more attractive to the lender. After all these years of lending money to small business owners, and again, the SBA doesn't want you to default, just like a lender does not want you to default, because now it's the full faith and credit of the U.S. taxpayer that's got to bail out that bad loan. So everybody wants you to repay. And the SBA realized, business owners are excellent at making the widget. Whatever you're going into business for, manufacturing, retail, service, you know how to do your widget, which is why you want to go into business. That doesn't necessarily make you an expert in all the ancillary areas that lead to successful small business ownership. You can be great at making a widget, but that doesn't make you an expert at finance. Understanding financial statements, heavens, if you liked finance and financial statements, you would have been an accountant. Perhaps borrowing money is just not something that you're very good at, or marketing or advertising, or debt consolidation, or equity, or handling investors, all those other areas. So we were invented, the SBA spawned us to shore up you, the business owner, and all these other areas so you can focus and concentrate on making that widget, which is the only reason you wanted to go into business to begin with. As Greg noted, we are confidential, private, no-cost counselors. We are business counselors. Our job is only to help you grow your company. That's why we exist. And we do this in a number of areas. We have a division that specializes in what we call launch. It helps you make sure you are legally compliant in all the areas you need to be legally compliant in so you can go to bed at night and not wake up in the morning to a window envelope from some government agency saying, oops, you messed up on your sales tax or your payroll tax or any of those other legal things, or your LLC isn't quite up to snuff after all, et cetera, et cetera. They help with initial customer discovery and all the beginning stuff you need to be just sort of do right so you're legally compliant. We have another division dedicated to what we call technology transfer, technology commercialization. Frankly, they spend all their time in Research Triangle Park with all those labs and biolabs and pharma labs, helping them commercialize all the brainiac ideas that come out of those labs and get them to market. That's what they do. We have a division that helps people get money, and that's all this division does. And they specialize in getting money up to $150,000 or $150,000 or less. Oftentimes, beginning business owners we've funded our business on our credit cards. Perhaps our credit scores aren't what they used to be. How can we get our ducks in a row so we can get that first business loan, SBA underwritten or not? We have a division that just helps folks get money, especially small amounts of money. We have another division that helps folks with equity or venture capital money and that type of stuff, investor money. That's swimming with the big boys. That's the deep end of the pool stuff. They're sharks. They're happy. It's all legal and it's all good. They're happy to lend you money, and they're very happy to get repaid down the road. It's a necessary place. It's a good place. But if you're investor ready or want to be investor ready, if that's the type of money you want to go for, we have a division to help you identify investors that are looking for you and get you ready to be attractive to them. We have another division dedicated to importing and exporting, international division, international business. If your widget is ready to cross country lines, they can get you into ports. They can make sure you get paid. They can make sure you get paid in American currencies. They can help you make sure your stuff isn't stolen along the way. They can, knock on wood, help to make sure your intellectual property isn't stolen along the way, whatever. If you are ready for importing, if you're ready for exporting, we have a division dedicated to that. We also have a division dedicated to government contracts. You have to check some boxes to be eligible for government contracts, and they'll help you get those boxes checked. But if and when you are ready to land a government contract at any level of government, federal, state, local, prisons, school systems, parks and recs, military, universities, community colleges, if you've got something to sell to a government agency, they can help you bid successfully for that contract. They also are very good at helping business owners push themselves out as subprimes to other businesses who are landing those contracts as the prime vendor. And that's an excellent place for a smaller company who doesn't have the resources or bandwidth to land a prime contract. But you can land a component of a bigger contract as a subprime. They can help with that. And then sort of the last division is just kind of where I sit and my colleagues. We just call it general business counseling. Half the folks who come to us are actually doing quite well. They're ready to grow. They're ready for a new market. They're ready for new territory. They're ready to bring on a new revenue stream and just need an objective set of eyes and ears to hear them out, make sure they haven't missed anything, help them with the research to know what community to move into, should I franchise, whatever it needs to go to advance to the next level. Half the folks that come to us perhaps are hemorrhaging money, and they don't know why, or they're not doing quite well, and they don't know why, or they think they don't know why, but really they do know why. We just hold up a mirror and they go, yeah, I knew it all along. Classic story. It was a nice company, probably oh man. Anyway, he was a guy, he was hemorrhaging money, and it didn't take that long to look at his books and say, you got a lot of money in labor here, astronomically more than you should. He goes, I knew it. It's my brother-in-law. I never should have hired him. I just went, seriously? I've been waiting for you. You hired your brother-in-law. He goes, yeah, I know, it was a big mistake. So if you got your brother-in-law on the payroll, you need to whack him, you come to us. We'll give you the ammunition you need to get that deadwood off the company rolls. People often ask, what's the difference between you, SBE, ABCDE, and all these other panelists, especially Felicia? And I can answer that. Honest to true, and Felicia, I get to speak for you, you've already talked, but the rest of you can correct me here because you're going to follow me. If I'm a small business of 5 employees or less, I don't go to the SBTDC, I go straight to Felicia. As she said, there's 58 of her through 100 counties, one in every other county. They are local. They are right there on Main Street where you are. She understands Main Street and Main Street marketing and Main Street advertising and Main Street politics and how to survive. If your customer base is community oriented, if you draw mostly from your community or your county and maybe some tourists, but by golly, most of your business is within, a geographic radius of what we would just call a very large community, I'd go to her and not come to us. We're more regional. We cross multiple county lines. We're in 11 offices across this whole state. If your sales generally come from across multiple county lines, across state lines, that's where we thrive. If you have 10 to 15 employees or more, that's our sweet spot. So if you find yourself hitting up in that area, actually we can do you a lot of good. We send a lot of folks to SCORE, and Fred can speak to all of this. First of all, I'm very jealous of his name. Service Corps of Retired Executives, SCORE, flows right off the tongue. I always remember it. I know who they are. Service Corps of who? Retired executives. When folks come to our office and say, certainly someone else has had this problem, how have they solved it? I can't be the first one to deal with this kind of situation. We say, go to SCORE. They have been there, they have done that. You can find 20 SCORE reps who give you 20 different ways they tackle that exact same problem. Don't repeat their mistakes. You don't have to reinvent that wheel. SCORE and their seminars and their advice is excellent from retired executives who've already been there and already done that. Stephanie's with the chamber. I'm a chamber guy. That's how I met Greg. I ran the chamber in Chapel Hill. He was with the Economic Development Commission in Orange County. 2 pro-business people in that community running pro-business outfits in Orange County. We have since had many years in therapy together, and we're doing quite well now. Thank you very much. But I would say go to the chamber for promotions and for advocacy, and you need to meet folks in your community who don't do what you do, who are beyond just your basic customers. You need to meet your competitors, become friends with your competitors. The chamber has so many wonderful ways to meet people and get you networked in your own community. SBTDC, after you've bit yourself on the tongue and stopped the bleeding, getting our name right, we are counselors to help you grow your companies, and we specialize or are actually quite good at larger type companies, 10 folks or more.